What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Hump Day Hotline. If that does not get you fired up, you might be dead.
Gotta be.
That's all I'm going to say.
Gotta be.
You might be dead. Welcome into the Hump Day Hotline. As I already said, my name is Joe Miller. That is my co-host over there. You are?
I am Jay Spence the King, co-host of Hump Day Hotline and host of, what's my show?
The Code of Conduct.
Sorry, I just got off work. My mind isn't there.
You can find him on Twitter at Jay Spence the King. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. It is week one, my man Jay Spence. Are you fired up?
Let's go, man. I'm amped. I don't know if you all listened to the Code of Conduct this morning, but if you didn't hear the excitement in my voice, I'm amped. Like, I'm ready to go, man.
And I was feeling,
let's make it Sunday now.
I was feeling it so much on Monday that you texted me and you were like, bro, you're feeling it.
I was like, yeah, you're ready, aren't you?
Dude, I didn't think we were going to get here. Like, I don't know how many times I've said that. Like, I honestly just didn't think we were going to get here. And we're not here yet. Clearly tomorrow has to come. And then Monday, or Sunday rather. But I'm excited. But thank you guys so much for joining us. This is the first week where the Hump Day Hotline is going to kind of take on what it was intended to be, which was a look back at last week and a look forward to this coming week, where we're gonna talk about what happened, although we can't do that this week, and we're gonna talk about what's to come. So we got a lot of good stuff lined up for you. Smash that like. So if you're just getting into the chat, we've got about I got 100 people total across all platforms, and I've got 70 people right now on YouTube. Do me a favor, not only hump that like on whatever platform you're watching, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, but also retweet this thing, share it. Let's get some people up in this thing. Let's talk Bills football, as it is officially week one, and the Bills are facing the New York Jets at whatever you want to call the stadium: Rich Stadium, Ralph Wilson Stadium, New Era Field, or Bills Stadium. However, we have to pay some bills. Are you ready to pay some bills, Jay Spence?
We could pay some bills real quick. Listen, guys, because this is for the guys.
This is for the guys. Ladies.
Actually, it's for the ladies, too, if you have a guy.
It's actually for the ladies.
Yeah, it's more for the ladies. You're right. Listen, if you haven't heard of Manscaped yet, I need you to go to manscaped.com. Okay, you can get 20% off with free shipping if you use the code Fanatics. But here's the thing. No woman wants their man to be just like all over the place. You got to tame that bush. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go and you got to get the shrubbery right, man. And because if you're too rough, I'm going to just tell you, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. I need you to go and get that taken care of. So like I said, go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping by using the code Fanatics. I use it. And actually, you know what? While Joe is talking, I'm going to actually show you the one
Wait, what? You're going to show us
what?
No,
I'm not going to show you. No. I'm not going to show you Jay Spence. I'm going to show you the product that I have from Manscaped, so that way you'll know which one I use. I think it's great. It's awesome.
That's awesome. So once again, it's scrolling at the bottom, but if you go to manscaped.com, you get 20% off and free shipping if you use the promo code Fanatics right now. But yeah, I'm gonna throw this banner up, or this overlay up again, so you guys can see it. We're very, very thankful to Manscaped to have partnered with the Buffalo Fanatics. Looking forward to all the things to come as far as that goes.
And check this real quick, because I need y'all to understand, fellas.
All right, I got a technical issue over here, so you work on that. I'm gonna work on this over here.
Okay, but this is serious. I need y'all to understand. So we have the ball toner here, which is a reviver. So you need that. You gotta revive your balls.
What a better product there isn't a better product placement for the Hump Day Hotline than this one.
This is it. This is the show.
If there was a marriage made in heaven, it's this one.
We got ball deodorant. So I know, fellas, long days at work. Some people don't have jobs like me and Joe. You know, those are long days too, though. It's high stress.
Yeah,
so, you still need some ball deodorant. Take care of your balls, fellas.
Gotta have it.
And this, let me just tell you, this is amazing. It has a light for you so you can see and everything. You can guide it. I'm telling you, take care of your balls. Ladies will love you for it.
The ladies will love you. The ladies will love you. So let's do this. Let's jump right into. So you're going to be monitoring the comments tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be driving the show as far as topics that we're talking about. We are 100% full on for the next hour or so talking about the Jets and the Buffalo Bills and the Jets. Topics that we have tonight. I'm gonna hit the injury report here real quick. Key matchups. So basically what Jay Spence and I feel are the key matchups to this game. I want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you think the key matchups are. Keys to the game as far as like, basically what it's going to take for us to win, to secure a win. We're going to talk about Josh Allen's stat prediction for this game as well, and then we're going to get into a score prediction as well. So let's do this. What do you got there? Truth to Hearts. Welcome in, Truth to Hearts. You know you made it when you're sponsored by Manscaped. That's it. So I hate to live on the sponsor too long because clearly we've got a lot of things to talk about. But when you open up the top of the box, what does it say? Do you remember? You've got the box right there, right?
I do. I have the box right here.
So show the folks at home what the box says when you open. Dude, the packaging is amazing.
The packaging is awesome.
Yeah. So you open the box and this is what it says: "Your balls will thank you." I opened it up and my 13-year-old saw that and she was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "Baby, go to your room."
Right. But I'm gonna tell you what. One more thing, then we can get off of this for real.
All right.
These are, honest to God, these are some of the most comfortable underwear that I've ever had. I'm just saying.
I haven't tried them on yet, so hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. Hey, we
Saving
got
these for a special occasion.
I don't know if you can see it, but we've got a super chat. So this is what's up. So Davion Price is already in the show in the chat with a super chat. For those of you tuning in, if you're new to the program, first things first, hump that like, smash the like. It gets our metrics up across YouTube and all the different platforms. Also, if you want to get our attention, and clearly tonight we're going to be a little bit distracted because it's week 1 and we're both really excited. So if you want our attention, super chat. You super chat on YouTube, throw it in there. It will get our attention. It will get priority. Davion Price, what's he saying?
He said, "Is week 1? Let's dominate and make a statement." And I'm with him. Let's do this. Like let's go out there and punch some people in the face.
Oh my gosh, I have not been. I'm just excited, dude. Like I haven't been. I'm always excited for the opener, and I can't go this year, and I have season tickets, and I think I'm more amped than I've ever been. I'm amped for tomorrow night's game. Like I'm super stoked for tomorrow night's game. Like, dude, you're gonna have to talk for a second because like I'm just.
Well, I'm amped for tomorrow's game, but it's like. So I'm amped because football's back, and obviously these are 2 really good teams that are starting tomorrow. But man, I'm ready for Sunday. Like I want to see my Bills. The thing is, every year, I'm used to like the Bills kind of sort of being okay, but not like great. Yep. So the thing is, you look forward to football and other teams. Like, oh well, who's the top 2 teams playing? Or who? This year, man, it's us. I'm looking forward to seeing us. I don't want to see anybody else.
Absolutely. So this is what I got. I think we got another super chat. So RC3, welcome, and thanks for the super chat. Key matchups is JA17, QB1 versus himself. I think this first game will tell us a lot about him. Jay Spence, take that one.
I agree. It will tell us a lot. I don't know if it'll tell us, what to expect for the rest of the season. The thing is, we didn't have a preseason, so it's going to be a lot of sloppy football for the first couple of weeks on offense. Not necessarily with the Bills. Hopefully it's not sloppy. Right. But when you look around the league, you can look forward. Defense is always pretty much seem to be ahead of the offense when we come back. So the first couple of weeks, you can look forward to defenses really kind of having their way. I'm hoping that for the Buffalo Bills, it doesn't look like that. Like I'm hoping Josh goes out and the Jets is embarrassed by us.
It's been talked about. One of the biggest advantages that we have as a football team is the fact that we have continuity on offense, even with Feliciano being out. We've got continuity on like the line. We've got continuity from a tight end standpoint. We've got continuity inside the wide receiver room. Outside of Diggs coming in. And Diggs has made a huge impression on this wide receiver core and Josh Allen. Did you see Stephon Diggs' interview today?
I did. He was like blushing. Like it was.
I think
it was weird.
I think it was Kim Jones asking the question just about his relationship with Josh Allen, and the dude smiled like he had a new girlfriend.
Man, I loved it, man. I love it.
He was like, yeah, it was just, I was like, oh, there's something there. Like, there's something there. So, which was really cool. So, I'm going to hit the, to your point, sorry. Generally speaking, when the season opens, the defenses are in front of the offense, ahead of the offenses, and there's generally some pretenders in the league. I'll be honest with you. I think some defenses will be ahead of some offenses. I think we have the benefit of the doubt as it pertains to just continuity, but I'll honestly tell you, I don't know what to expect. There might be some garbage football this weekend and even next weekend. Like, what's the movie, The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, right?
Sandler, yeah.
Where he says basically what you need is a warm-up game, a game like Appalachian State where you can go out and just like run all over them to tune up the team. We're kind of getting that this week, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But before we do, I just want to hit the injury report for everybody that came out today in case anybody missed it. Vernon Butler was limited in practice today. Jake Fromm was quarantined, which is something that's an interesting story. So they're keeping Jake Fromm away from the team just in case the quarterback or both quarterbacks, I'm guessing, come down with COVID. So he will be, at this point, the emergency quarterback, which I'm guessing is bringing a whole new definition to the word emergency quarterback. Tywan Jones was limited in practice today. Josh Norman did not participate, questionable with a hamstring. Levi Wallace was a full participant, questionable with a hamstring. And those two obviously are probably the most important notes on this list. Would you agree or would you disagree?
I do agree that those are the most important points. I want to ask you, how do you feel about this Jake Fromm being quarantined thing, as an emergency quarterback?
I think it changes the narrative to what we thought a little bit, that it isn't Matt Barkley.
What do you mean?
You would assume that your number 2 guy, if there's an emergency, if there's the guy that you would want to quarantine would be Barkley, your number 2 quarterback, not the rookie quarterback that's never taken an NFL snap. So they're either super confident that nobody has COVID, right? So they're either living in a space where it's this isn't going to happen. So just as a precaution, we're going to do this with Fromm, or this is the plan. It's we want our best guy, right? I mean, I don't know what to make of it other than that. Do you have a thought?
See, the way I look at Jake Fromm is that I didn't think, and I get it, we drafted him and they don't want the Patriots to get him. But for me, I didn't think he should make the roster. So for me to send him to quarantine as an extra quarterback, I'm no, why are we doing this?
Right. It's definitely strange. I would absolutely agree with that. So let's get into our first official topic, which is basically just key matchups for the games, for the game this weekend. I'm interested in knowing what the people think. I've got 2 of my own. I'm sure that you've probably got some thoughts as well, just some more information just for everybody paying attention, tuned in, which we've got about 200 people across all platforms, which is awesome. There's a community on YouTube. There's the opportunity for you to not only converse with us, but also be a part of the community and be a part of the chat. I would encourage you, if you're watching on Twitter, jump over to YouTube. Just Google search Buffalo Fanatics. You'll find our show. It's live right now. Facebook is a great place, too. There's usually about 20 to 50 people on Facebook. So come on, Smith. Cut Jake Fromm from State Farms, or cut him some slack. That's funny. Koala Bear Khan, welcome to the show. What were you going to say?
No, it's just a bunch of comments in here now regarding the backup quarterback situation. And my man Sterling,
they're making fun of Fromm a little bit with the bad breath. I saw that one.
Yeah, Jake Fromm needs Manscaped, I see. But Sterling is asking, is Matt Barkley that much better though? And so here's the thing. I'm on record. I am saying I don't think he is. I didn't want to sign him when he was a free agent. I was ticked off when we signed him when we did. I understand he came in and he beat the Jets. Who can't? But he's not a backup quarterback that I feel confident in if Josh Allen really is injured for any length of real time.
Right.
But what do you feel about that, Joe?
It's an enigma. You don't know what Jake Fromm looks like. I've seen Matt Barkley, and I've seen enough of Matt Barkley to say the same thing that Zach Allen is saying, which is that Matt Barkley just isn't good. He was out of the league for a year. Obviously, what's his name? Who was the guy that was here that got hurt? Derek Anderson gets hurt. Yeah. Who was the backup, and Josh learned a lot from Derek Anderson. But he comes in and then throttles the Jets, and it's holy crap, maybe we've got something in Matt Barkley. And every single time we have seen Barkley since then, it hasn't been anything worth watching. To include the Jets game last year, which, to be honest with you, the last game of the season against the Jets last year, he should have had a heyday, right? When you think about what was yes, a lot of our starters weren't playing, but he should have throttled that team. So to Sterling's point, I don't know that Barkley's better than Fromm at this point. So who knows what they've been seeing in camp. Clearly, we haven't gotten a lot of information from camp. But yeah, we'll see. What did Caitlin Blunt say? I didn't see it.
She said Fromm is literally an emergency quarterback. Barkley is definitely backup, but God forbid something happens to Barkley or Allen. Clearly, both will have it. Now you won't have no one next week. Kind of genius. And
that's literally, that's great, Caitlin. That's literally what we were saying. But it begs the question, Caitlin, and thank you for the comment. It just begs the question: would you rather have Matt Barkley as that guy? Because clearly, going into the game this Sunday, unless it comes down to one of them being scratched, right? So you quarantine one and he gets scratched, and then the other one is the backup quarterback. If that's the thought process behind it, then I guess I understand why it's Fromm as the quarantine scratch, right? So you kind of know ahead of time who's getting scratched, and I guess we'll find out Sunday.
But see, I guess, and I always get yelled at by everybody in the chat because of this, but I'm for having quality on your roster, not just having guys to fill it. I don't think Barkley or Fromm is good. So my thing is, why do we have backup quarterbacks that really can't help us win a game if Josh was injured? And that's just my opinion. Y'all might think I'm wrong. You might think that Jake Fromm is a good quarterback, or you might think that, but I just don't think that they're quality. There are teams that have backup quarterback situations that are far better. I mean, look at Miami.
Yeah.
They have Fitzpatrick as their back. I get it. We can't have, Fitzpatrick as our back, but I'm saying like there are backups that we could have had.
I don't think Miami is a good example. I think if you're thinking of an example, it'd be Dallas, who has Dalton behind Dak. So
great example.
So Dallas has a great football team, or even the Saints, who have Breeze and then Winston behind him. So if something happens to Breeze, if something happens to Dak, they've got a guy that's going to come in. And the rule of thumb is, generally you want your backup quarterback to win you at least half of the games that he's playing. I'm not confident that Barkley or Fromm can do that. I don't know that answer. Clearly, we've had a lot of conversation I have on my show as well, just about the fact that quarterback is probably the weakest position group on our team by a lot. What's up, market dominator?
Do I have huge hands?
I don't know. Mine are pretty big too.
Yeah, Joe's are bigger than mine. I could. Well, I guess you know what? Don't they measure that at the draft or at the combine?
They do, but I don't get it because according to those measurements, mine seem pretty large. But anyways, what's up, John Spascheck? For those of you that don't know, that is the market dominator that I talk about all the time on my show. So let's do this. Let's get into key matchups, and I'll give you my first one. And then we may have similar ones, but to me, the first one is the Bills defense versus the Jets O-line. 6 of the 9 guys on that team, as far as offensive linemen, 6 of them are brand new. 4 of them are brand new starters. One of them is a rookie, and I thought this was an interesting stat as well. Only 3 of those 5 have started 16 games in a season or played 16 games in a season. When you're talking about continuity, when you're talking about like the things that it takes for an offensive line to handle a position group like the Bills defense, the defensive line that's going to roll at them, it's going to be interesting to watch. Poop through a goose is the best example that I can come up with as far as like that defensive line working that offensive line this weekend. What are your thoughts on how that offensive line is going to be able to hold the Bills defensive line back? I mean, these guys have never played together.
Okay, before I answer that, because we have a super chat,
all right,
I want to throw this up first.
Sturls, my man Sturls
asks us what we make of McDermott's co-starters on the line, right guard and right tackle. I don't think Sterling wants me to answer this question, so I'm going to give this to you, Joe.
The co-starters, is he talking about Cody Ford starting right guard and right tackle?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
I think it was a mistake. If I had to guess, it's probably just an error on one of the assistants that didn't change something in the word format before it got sent out. I can't imagine there's any type of against a 3-4 defense. I can't imagine that there's any type of like strategic advantage to making the Jets wonder like who's playing right guard and versus where's Cody Ford playing. I don't think they're more worried if Cody Ford is playing right guard over right tackle, or more worried if he's playing right tackle or right guard, or more excited vice versa. Does that make sense? So if I had to guess, I think that was probably a clerical error on one of the assistants. So, I
disagree. I think it was one of those things where McDermott and Bean is trying to have some type. I don't know how much of an advantage you can have by saying he's going to start at which position, but I just think it's one of those mind games that they play on people. I don't think it was because they've done that last year,
right?
Like when there was question about whatever position, then they kind of put 4 guys on one spot. So
I don't remember. So I don't remember seeing that last year. So you are talking about something that I'm not necessarily super duper familiar with. So
I'll pull up the last one for last year's.
Yeah. So anyways, getting back to defense versus the Jets O-line, to me, that is a key matchup. And depending on what happens in that matchup, the Jets could have a very, very long day, in my opinion. I can't see a world where that O-line is going to put it together. I mean, even when you think about the guys that they signed, and I've got the roster here, the depth chart here. Like when you're looking at like the center that they signed, Connor McGovern. I mean, he was a 3-year starter in Denver, but they didn't exactly sign him to what would be considered a lucrative contract, right? They got the rookie left tackle. What are your thoughts on that offensive line versus that Bills defense?
I think it's horrible. I mean, the offensive line to me is their biggest weakness at this point, even
For
though
sure.
their defense has actually taken a big hit because they've lost, their star linebacker. He opted out for COVID. Then you have injuries, and then they traded Jamal, and so their defense overall just isn't good. But their offensive line is really, because our defensive line, I think, is going to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a more aggressive offensive line as opposed to last year. I think our sack total will go up. I don't think that we're going to be like first in the league by any means, but we're going to be in the top. I do think that, it's not out of. I think we can look at top 7 as far as sacks in the league.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a top 3 defense again, if not the best defense. So us going up against that line, I feel bad for Le'Veon Bell this week.
And Darnold. And Sam Darnold.
I feel bad for Darnold.
Yeah, it's going to be, and Hendrick coming back might be the only saving grace for Darnold, that he has some sort of an outlet, hot route, like on standby, because even from a wide receiver standpoint, I mean, there's challenges there too, which, we've heard a lot about. Justin H. Darnold will pull a Vontae at halftime after our T gets to him.
It's going to be rough, man.
I don't know that I'd call him a quitter. Vontae is a whole other conversation. What's your first key matchup? How many do you have? More than one?
Yeah, I have 3.
I have 2. So go ahead. What's your first key matchup?
My first matchup is actually Josh Allen and the Buffalo wide receivers against the secondary of the Jets.
Yep.
So with Jamal Adams being traded now to Seattle, it's really a shell of what they were last year, and they weren't great, but they had some good players. Now, man, honestly, if this offense has improved like we think it is, and I know today Diggs said that the chemistry is still developing and it's not quite there, but we all kind of thought and we think that it's developing well. We think that they are doing well. So if it looks the way we think it will, and then also with Singletary possibly coming out the backfield for some catches, I think it's going to be rough for those guys, linebackers too. Just everything, really the whole defense, because you just mentioned the line.
Yeah.
It was the offensive line, but the defense too. They have one good player that can possibly make some noise. Other than that, I'm not being too. I don't want to be too ahead of myself where I'm like, oh, we're just gonna destroy them 75-0.
Yeah.
But I think we should beat them by 2 scores.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What is with the Call of Duty thing? As I was studying up on the Jets' offensive line, that was one of the things that Connor McGovern said as well. So like after practice and like guys close their notebooks or whatever their playbooks, like they all jump on Call of Duty, and like it's the 4 or 5 of them on there playing and getting close, and like it breeds this sense of like camaraderie or closeness. Like, what is this thing with Call of Duty? Like, how does that translate to the football field, playing Call of Duty together?
Not necessarily. Well, it might, but the way I see it
keep that up. Keep that up. I want to respond to it. Go ahead.
Okay, I see it just as the camaraderie. Like for instance, me and you, we haven't played any sports together, but we've spent time. We talk a whole lot. I feel like it would be easier for me and you to get along on a basketball court than it would be for me and whoever else. Davion. I haven't talked to Davion Price besides him in this chat. Sure. So for me and you, just getting to know each other, being closer, it makes it easier for us to understand each other and work together. I just think the camaraderie there will translate to the field. But as far as like, we need that need that chemistry to develop on the field. Like I need you to know timing. I need you to know when he's going to make that break. That's the timing I need.
That's it. And the checks, right? So when they're making calls and they're checking at the line, I just don't know how that stuff amounts to making checks at the line and people being on the same page and stunts and twists and everything else that this defense is going to throw at them. So, I mean, I see a lot of what A.J. Epinesa did to Winters happening on Sunday. Like when he trucked him, like that to me is potentially what we're going to see from our defensive line versus that offensive line. Pierre, this is a great point. My only fear is stopping Le'Veon. Stopping run is still Achilles' heel. Until the Bills stop the run consistently, it's definitely a position or something of concern for this defense. We did it a couple times. The Bills clearly last year, if you remember, came out. Saquon ate us up first half of the game, and there were several games like that. I think Peterson did the same thing. They made some adjustments. They shut it down. For me, the saving grace behind Le'Veon Bell is I still don't think Adam Gase wants him on that football team. And I don't think he's scheming plays to fit the strengths of Le'Veon Bell. Like, I think Le'Veon Bell is a non-factor, not because Le'Veon Bell's washed up. Le'Veon Bell is an elite football talent as a running back in the NFL. Still, he's got a coach that doesn't know how to use him or doesn't want to. Do you agree with that?
I agree, and that's why my point was going to be like one of my next keys to victory
Let's
was
hit it.
also, honestly, I just think the coaching battle, even though it won't be much of a battle, I
Right.
think that you're going to look at Adam Gase and we're going to scratch our heads as Bills fans because we had a running back on our team last year that was 38,000 years old that couldn't get 2 yards on a 3rd and 2. So he's going to run the heck out of Frank Gore.
He's on that team.
And that's why I was saying he's going to run the heck out of Frank Gore, and Le'Veon Bell will, he'll get his touches, but he's not going to run him to his strengths, or he's not going to run him, he's not going to put him in positions to really
Right.
do well. So
Right.
we got
I agree.
another super chat somewhere, but
y'all coming through big time. So while he's looking for that super chat, once again, smash that like, hump that like. I've got 185 people in the YouTube page right now. I've got 78 likes. I want to see 40 of you. If you're still listening, if you can hear my voice, hump that like, jump on that like button. There it goes to 80. Come on, keep it coming. It's like a telethon. It's like I'm trying to raise money for charity with the like buttons. Hump that like. Super chatters get priority. What's up, Robbie? So let's talk 716. If you guys have not tuned into Robbie's show, subscribe to Robbie's show. Let's talk 716 Sports. Robbie's a good dude. So were you able to find it or no?
No, you know what? Actually, I think it was the same one from the red one is from
Gotcha.
earlier.
My second key matchup that I'm going to be watching is literally going to be Josh Allen versus the Rush. And the reason for me is because we all know Greg Williams. So I have back of my mind fears that Greg Williams has a bounty out on Josh Allen. Back of my mind fears. I'm not saying that he will. I'm not saying that he hasn't cleaned up his act. I don't know if you ever heard that video or that audio recording of him coaching his team, I believe when he was with the Saints, and what he was saying to them about basically taking guys out and killing guys and like going after their heads and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that, but he's going to bring the rush. He's going to bring people. He's going to bring people from various different places. He's going to try to confuse Josh Allen. He's going to blitz early and often. And when they bring the house, the wide receivers are going to be open. Beasley's going to be open. Knox is probably going to have to stay in and block. But it'll be interesting to see. Sorry, I don't know what you're laughing at, but I'm going to finish my thought. Gore could still be a problem. No.
That's what I was laughing at. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Speaking of guys that might retire by halftime, it might be Frank Gore.
Right.
It's funny, but it's going to be interesting to see how Josh handles the rush and how he handles the pressure. Is he committed to doing what we've heard in camp from guys like Dawson Knox and just different people about checking down and hitting the guy in the flat and hitting taking what the defense is giving him? Because if he gets skittish back there, it's going to affect rhythm and timing. It's going to affect his launch angle. So, we got Diggs and John Brown on the outside, but if he starts getting a little bit happy dancy feet out back there, his launch angle is going to go from being those beautiful rainbows we've seen all off season or all preseason into darts. He's going to be throwing darts at guys 60 yards downfield, and it just doesn't work. So
I don't know. See, and maybe I just have a different expectation this year out of Josh. I think from all that I've heard and all that I've seen, I feel like he's going to do better with checking the ball down. I don't think he's honestly. I think he's going to.
I agree, but that's what
really
I want to watch.
Surprise us.
I'm saying that. But that to me, that's a key matchup. Like that to me is what I want to see.
I do want to go back to this because Truth to Hearts is kind of responding to what Pierre was saying about the run being our Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Teams could barely rush for 100 yards against us, and look what we did against Henry and the Ravens. I'm going to disagree. I have to this year. I don't think it's going to be our Achilles heel because I think the addition of the couple guys that we added in the middle there is really going to help. However, last season, man, it was rough. It was really rough, and especially first half. We made adjustments after halftime, but the first half, Adrian Peterson killed us last year in the first half when we played against Washington. He had 110 yards or something in the first half.
Yeah,
you look at what other game before Connor got hurt in the game against Pittsburgh. Connor was killing us. The first half of the Thanksgiving game, we were and I get it. These guys are good running backs, but the point is we're playing a lot of those this year. We're playing a lot of good run.
Did we lose you, bro? Got some internet issues, but yes, to his point, to Jay Spence's point, you're talking about a situation where the defense showed the acumen and showed, now I've got, you're coming back, but your video's not back yet. The defense showed the acumen and the ability, and the staff showed the ability to make an adjustment, to do the things that they had to do to
I don't
basically.
know if I'm here or if Joe is gone. So I'm trying to, were you gone or was I gone?
You were gone. I've got you back now.
Oh, well, I wasn't froze up, and no, I'm not using dial-up. My internet works.
Pierre says, good point on Greg Williams, Joe. I do love how Alan keeps mentioning how he's really focused on knowing the answers. He might now have them. And this is a huge point. And what's funny is like something that hasn't been talked about as much as like we've heard from some of the players that he's reading the defense better. So he knows pre-snap what he wants and what he's got. Greg Williams is the type of head coach that could confuse him enough, right? So that he's not sure of what he's got and what he's seeing, which could also have dividends. It could pay dividends down the season. So week 2, as much as Josh is going in with confidence against our defense, he might get confused enough against this defense that in week 2, it affects his confidence levels. What are you laughing about?
Well, no, John is still going about my hands, man. I just don't get I do one thing for Manscaped, and all of a sudden now we're talking about my hands. We got real quick though. I did want to say, because I saw when we first logged in, I saw a few comments. Thank you everybody who showed concern. My family as well. Last week I had a family emergency with my grandfather. He is well. Everything is okay. Thank God. I'm back and better than ever. Hump Day Hotline is on, and we're going to keep doing this. But I thank you all for missing me. I did get to log in, and I saw some of the comments where people were missing me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, and Sterl's, just shout out to Sterling, who it's his anniversary today. Yeah. He didn't tell me how many years him and his wife have been married, but it is Sterl from the Hoof Show. It's him and his wife's anniversary. So we're going to move on to our next topic, if that's all right. And it's similar to this topic, but I want to basically move just to I got to hide this one first. My bad. So what are the keys? Let's talk about the key. What is the one key that you think it's gonna come down to this game, securing a Bills victory for you?
Defense.
Yeah,
because I don't think that their defense can stop our offense. And I just don't think that their offense is good enough to really move the ball. But you know what I mean? So we have to, if our defense stifles them, it's nothing that they can do.
Yeah. No, I don't see, and I could be wrong. And I've read tea leaves before, and I've had Homer goggles on before. And, I'm a Bills fan. We're all Bills fans in here. I mean, I'm wearing a Buffalo versus everybody t-shirt, right? I mean, it's for all, I just can't see that offense doing anything against this team. Hendrick coming back, or Herndon, however you pronounce his name, I think that's going to be big for them. Their wide receiver group is a mess, dude. Like, it's a mess. And then you couple that with the fact that, like, Gase does not know how to or does not want to use or strategize to use Bell. I just can't see it. Like, I just can't see that offense doing. For me,
well, hold on. Keep talking. I'm going to reset because there's a bunch of comments saying that I'm blurry now. I don't seem blurry to me, but I'm going to reset
You're definitely blurry. So
I'm just going to reset the link. I'll be right.
Yep, that's fine. That's fine. So for everybody watching, so let's do this. So you are all watching the Hump Day Hotline. I am one of your co-hosts, Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. Jay Spence, who's now back, is the host of the Code of Conduct podcast, and he is my brother in arms as far as co-hosting this show with me. Do me a favor, do us a favor, smash that like, hump that like, get on it. Super chatters get priority. So for me, the key to this game, and this is going to sound simple and stupid, but it literally goes back to what I said before about like the Appalachian State like warm-up game thing. Like, for me, it's simple. This is a football game that's about just finding timing, finding rhythm, not overthinking it, and not getting too smart. For me, it's simple. Just line up and beat the guy on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Like, period. Execute. Just line up and beat the guy on the other side. Like, we're not playing the Cowboys. You know what I mean? We're not playing the Chiefs. We're not playing some team that's got flashy players all over the field. They have nothing. They have no flashy players outside of Le'Veon Bell anywhere on the field. Just line up and beat them. And that, to me, is the key to this game. If you get cute, if you get trapped, if you get behind, you're going to be in trouble, right?
I know this isn't the point because we're talking about the Bills' key to victory, but don't you just feel awful for Sam Darnold, like, as a talent? Like, not as a Bills fan. I'm saying take the fanhood out of it. Like, I know you're a Bills fan, but could you imagine us drafting Josh Allen and not having a GM that's like, you know what? Well, let me go sign Cole Beasley. Let me draft Devin Singletary. Like, what if we had somebody that was like, you know what? Let's keep Shady McCoy, even though as much as he was great, now he's at the end of his career. You know what? Let's sign, let's keep Kelvin Benjamin. Like, could you imagine having that type of GM and you draft a quarterback in the first round?
I would say yes because of the other 2 first-round draft picks we drafted. And I'm not saying that they were good, but when you think of J.P. Lossman and what we did around him, and when you think of E.J. Manuel and what we did around him, like we didn't give them much help, right? I mean,
I can't say that for EJ. EJ had a decent squad.
It was all right. I mean, Stevie was his best wide receiver, but I mean, he didn't have what Tyrod had. I mean, Tyrod had a legit team around him.
That's for sure the truth.
So, yes, I feel bad for Darnold, but man, I love to see it. Darnold is going to find a second contract when they draft Trevor Lawrence next year, and he's going to play out his last year. They won't pick up the 5th-year option probably, or they'll move him. He'll move on to greener pastures and probably have a great second half of his career, or second 2/3 of his career would be my guess. So yeah, go for it.
So the Bills played 3 good teams last year: Ravens, Pats, and Titans. I can't believe everyone is saying that they're going to the Super Bowl and going 13-3. They struggled against terrible teams last year. A little pessimistic here, but I don't agree. I think, I've been critical of the Bills from last season with our victories because I feel like, well, it's not accurate what the statement is, but I was critical last year because I felt like last year we didn't get to face the top talent as far as quarterbacks. So, for instance, when we went against the Steelers, they didn't have his starting quarterback.
Sure.
We went against, but as far as us saying that we struggled and we only, we played 3 good teams, I can't quite say that I agree with that.
So the story of last year was 2 things, 3, 2.5, 3 if you consider what you just said. But the story of last year was primarily 2 things. 1, Josh Allen's progression, which he did progress, but he was not by any stretch of the means. I mean, he was still a bottom 3rd quarterback. Like, he was not like middle of the pack even as a quarterback. Yes, fantasy numbers, he was great because he was rushing for a lot of yards and scoring touchdowns. But Josh Allen had issues as it pertains to quarterbacking in a professional football offense. But the reality about last year's schedule, as easy as it was, is and it's funny because I know this because like I was doing show previews. Every Friday I would do a preview for the preview of the game. And it seemed like every freaking week we were playing a top 10 defense. So last year, our defense was great. And we were playing teams that had bad offenses. The Broncos, the Steelers, teams like that. But we were playing teams with great. We played, I think, 8 or 9 of the top 10 defenses last year. 8 of them. We were one of the 10. So there was only 1 top 10 defense that we did not play, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Like, the Bills did not. It had an easy schedule because of this concept of wins versus losses. But it was not an easy schedule when you consider where your quarterback was and how he's trying to learn how to play football still.
And I think it wasn't easy when you consider, the way or the people that the coaches depended on. I keep going back to Frank Gore. I don't want to bash him. He's a legend. So I don't, he's a good dude. But again, like there's a reason why things changed throughout the season. Like Devin Singletary became the feature back.
Yep.
The first 4 games, so I agree with Maestro here. The first 4 games of the season was completely different than Josh Allen's last 12 games.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't just that. The coaching was different from the last 12 games. They completely changed what they were doing offensively as far as the way they were attacking teams. They were using different, it was just different. So I can't quite fully get on to agree with that comment.
The problem, Maestro's on it. The problem is the first 4 games happened, right? So we're always going to have to live in a space of realization that those first 4 games happened. We're just going to have to be there. Del Tor's back. I'm a Bills fan.
And this is what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and Del Toro, we weren't questioning your fanhood, so don't get the wrong idea. I'm not convinced when they squeaked by Cincinnati, the Jets, the Browns, Miami, backup quarterback with the Steelers. At the end of the day...
Okay. There's 2 things. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go for it. Talk.
So, the backup quarterback thing with the Steelers, you're acting like the Steelers didn't have a top defense. They had a solid defense last year.
So did the Jets.
And when we played against Cincinnati, you weren't playing against Joe Burrow. Like, I get that people think that Andy Dalton isn't good. Andy Dalton is a solid quarterback, and I would have loved to have him as a backup quarterback instead of the 2 guys that we have.
Indeed.
Andy Dalton is, I'm telling you, if Dak Prescott goes down, they're going to miss him, but they're not going to miss him, if you get what I'm saying. Like, Andy Dalton can start on other teams.
Yep.
The Jets, the defense in the first half of the game, before Mosley went out, Mosley was destroying us. It was a defense.
It doesn't matter. Mosley missed most of the season, and that Jets defense was still very strong against the run and the pass all season long.
So I just can't agree with that. And I understand you're a fan. We're all fans, so everybody kind of goes back and forth here. But I just can't. I'm going to be honest about the team. I can't like beat them up for something that they shouldn't be beat up about.
Very much so. Very much so. Bob Anastasia, am I pronouncing that right? This is either a Mitch Trubisky year or an Aaron Rodgers third year. After this year, we will know what we have. I'm on the bus of mid season, week 8, week 9. We'll know what we have in Josh Allen. That's me.
Week 8, week 9.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Zach makes a good point here. Why do the Bills fans only criticize the team for squeaking by the Bengals, but don't do it to the Seahawks?
I saw that. I saw somebody talk about the Bengals. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the year, it's like we look at wins and losses at the end of the year. Like it doesn't matter.
Didn't the Browns beat the Seahawks?
They did.
Yeah. So hello.
And the Browns beat us.
Right. The Browns beat us.
They did. And then here's the thing: when people say that the Browns are bad, it's only because of coaching. They have talent.
Yeah.
Like any given Sunday, the Browns can blow any team out.
Yeah.
They just don't, because last year the coaching was horrible. But come on. First of all, they have 2 wide receivers that at some point in their careers really was considered a number 1 receiver in their own right.
Right.
Then you have 2 running backs that were both considered number 1 running backs in their own right. You have a tight end, David Njoku.
And he's
Are
gone.
you kidding me?
Njoku, he's gone, right?
They just traded him?
I think he's gone. Isn't it?
When did that happen?
Isn't it Hooper now? Hang on, I'll look.
No. Oh, you looking? Okay.
I thought Njoku was gone.
No, I thought he was opting out, and then he requested a trade because they brought in Hooper, and then he decided to stay.
Yes, he is still there, but that's not who they're. Yeah, it's Austin Hooper's the guy. Is going to be the guy this year.
Well, but if Austin Hooper's your 1 and you got David Njoku as your 2, I mean, you got the guy who was your number 1 last year as your number 2. Right. That's like us having John Brown as our number 2 receiver.
And Diggs.
I'm just saying, right. They're talented.
So what do you guys think? So let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comments as far as what you think keys to this football game is, or the one key to securing a Bills victory this weekend. What is the one thing the Bills have to do? Again, Super Chatters are getting a priority. You know what? There are 260 people across all platforms chatting and commenting. It's hard for us to keep up. If you want our attention, bite the bullet, Super Chat us. And it glows on our screen. That's the reason that it basically works. Otherwise, you can try doubling or duplicating your comment a couple times. But what are your guys' thoughts as far as the key to the game, the Bills securing the victory? I'd love to know, especially if it's something that we haven't hit. I feel literally if the Bills just don't get cute, don't get Brian Daboll all up inside of his brain, just line up and smash the guy in the face across the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think this is a W, a hard fought W. But you really
think, because I know you mentioned the defense, you really think with Greg Williams, with the talent that's on the roster, do you think it's going to matter? Like, I don't care how exotic
it shouldn't. The only way that it's going to matter is literally if they get in Josh's head. And I don't mean, I'm seeing ghosts. I don't mean Sam Darnold in his head. I mean just confusing him enough that he's hurried or he's breaking the pocket when he shouldn't versus trusting the guys around him. He hasn't had a rush around his feet. I mean, yes, they had a scrimmage, and he played well in the scrimmage. He played well in the scrimmage against our defense, and if you've watched Hard Knocks, the reality is I was surprised when I watched Hard Knocks last night, and like they were hitting and tackling to the ground.
I'm sure haven't seen one episode.
Oh, it's great because they're doing the Rams and the Chargers, so it's actually really good. And Tyrod's got some good stuff in it. Tyrod has some good stuff in there too. But regardless, like he hasn't had the rushes around his feet. So I mean, there's an aspect of like if Greg can trip him. Now the good news is he's played against Greg Williams a couple times already. So he, I don't know how much more exotic it can get. So my buddy John Spascheck, that's exactly right. Joe Miller Wired, line up and smash him in the face, dude. Just. Sam Darnold's my friend. Not today. He's not my friend today, right? And right behind John Spascheck is my brother, Andrew Miller. What's that one?
My Bills PTSD set in today, and I'm scared we become the Browns of 2019.
Ooh, I trust the process, Andrew.
I don't see. I mean,
trust the process.
The first thing that I said about the Browns of last year is that they had horrible coaching. We don't have that. We have the luxury of having Sean McDermott as our coach. He's, I think he's going to be a top 3 candidate for Coach of the Year. I said that on Code of Conduct back in early June, late May.
Yep.
I still feel that way. I don't see it going any other way.
Yep. No, I can't. The wheels could always come off, but the Bills didn't go out and get Jadeveon. So I would be more concerned If the Bills went out and got, with the season they had last year, and they went out and got high-flying free agents, if they had brought in Jadeveon Clowney, if they had brought in Diggs, who was kind of a diva coming in, right? If they had brought in 2, 3, 4 of those kind of guys, like you saw the Redskins do many times, the Eagles do, I'd be more concerned about that culture and that room shifting and changing, because if they brought in some me players, they brought in Diggs, and they brought in some guys that are workhorses that want to win, and it's just different.
It's completely different. I did want to bring up this point that Todd talked about. He said, can Sean McDermott get away from a small lead and letting off the gas? This is the point. So the area that I feel like Sean McDermott lacks as a coach is this. We got to put teams away. We got to start just knocking teams out when we have the chance.
I love the concept of trusting your defense to hold it down. I don't like trusting your defense to hold the lead as much as I like trusting your defense to get the ball back. Like, there's something about a close game when you're trying to come back. And Josh Allen had 5 comeback wins last year because the defense was able to lock down and get the ball back. It's a different feeling in a football game. Momentum is different when you're trying to get the ball back so the offense can score again versus trying to hold a 2-touchdown lead. It's just a completely different game, and it never works. Like, it never works. Killian Anstey? Thanks for the super chat. Sorry, I'm butchering names tonight.
How the Bills win the season. Keep the damn throttle open when you have a single-digit lead. Does anything they go for a cushion or just win? I'll tell you what, even a double-digit lead, if you look at the playoffs, we were up 13-0 at halftime. And I'm sorry to bring that painful memory back
PTSD.
up now, but we were up 13-0 at half, and we came out, the Jets. See, I'm tripping.
Yep, Texans.
The Bills absolutely should have won that game. The Bills should have won that game. There's no excuse on. I mean, I know we beat, like 2 weeks ago, I beat up Duke, and we talked about Robert Foster or whoever. But the problem is the Bills should have kept their foot on the throttle, just like Killian is saying. We should have kept it going. And there's ways to do it that you don't necessarily have to try and be a quick attack offense. Run the damn clock out.
That's right. Everybody, thank you guys so much for just joining us. I've got 250 people across all platforms. Bills Mafia, you were coming out in force. You were commenting, and I just love seeing all the Elliot and Corey and Cody Finney and Truth to Hearts and even Caitlin. I love seeing all you guys in the chat. I love seeing the new names that I've never seen before. New Mexico.
Yeah. Michael Zarbro.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in the chat and girls in the chat I've never seen before. Welcome into the Hump Day Hotline. This is it. It is week 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it is week 1. Wow, Toronto forced a Game 7. Oh, there you go. Nice.
Thank you. I'm in here with y'all, so I love y'all because I love the NBA.
Yes, he does.
I would definitely be out of here. It's a second overtime that I'm missing, and I got a couple texts about that. So there
is a code of conduct part two that Jay Spence runs as well. So if you love Jay Spence, go find his other podcast where he talks mostly about basketball and the Lakers and stuff like that. So everybody, do me a favor, jump on that like button, whatever platform you're on. Again, Super Chatters get priority. You are listening to the Hump Day Hotline, and you are a part of the show. So are we ready to move on to some fun stuff, which is the Josh Allen stat line prediction?
Let's go.
Do you want me to go first? You want to go first? I have a feeling you're going to be more conservative than me.
If I'm more conservative with you with this, then you're tripping. You're playing Madden or something.
Oh, all right. Well, then do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So this, and I've already said this, so this isn't like I just made it up today. I'm on record. It's on Twitter. I got Josh Allen at 340 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. I've got him at about 45 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown this Sunday.
We're about close. I said 325, but I said 3 touchdowns.
3, nice, very nice.
I said 325, 3 touchdowns. I think the first touchdown is actually going to go to Singletary.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's going to, so I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. For the Bills, I don't think the Jets are going to really be able to do anything with them at all.
Dude, last night, when anybody, I'd love. So let's light up the comment board. Give me your predictions as far as Josh Allen's stat line this weekend, or give us your prediction for Josh Allen's stat line. Sterling and the guys on Hoof Live last night had a great point. Name one cornerback, one defensive back for the Jets.
You're asking me?
Exactly. You can't.
No, I can't. I can't.
So
That's why I was like, wait, are you really asking me?
yes, yeah. So Brian says Josh Allen 300 plus yards, like 28 for 35, 350, 3 touchdowns. Corey in Buffalo. I'm just reading them off the chat, the
Hey,
comment
real
thing.
quick,
So
I'm
yeah,
guessing that you're either in California or Oregon, however you say it. Please be safe out there. I appreciate you jumping in to kick it with me and Joe here, but I know what those fires are like, man. Please
yeah,
be safe.
yeah. So jump in and give us your stat line predictions for the Bills. We got to run some contests. We threatened to run some contests based around just different stat predictions and scoring predictions and stuff like that. We just haven't really put anything together yet. We'll get some of that going as the season progresses. 325, 2 passing touchdowns, 50 yards from Joshua Barrett. I like that. I think I'm ahead of you because I'm watching on YouTube and you're watching in the actual comment section. I apologize. I think 340 is a pretty good number. I think it could go to Singletary. I think it could be Diggs. I think there's a lot of people calling for them, like in the first series, dropping back and chucking the ball to Stephon Diggs, a big giant rainbow, like over everybody's head. And I don't know that there's a cornerback that's going to be on the Jets field or a defensive back that's going to it's a pick your poison situation, is it not, for that defense? Like
For any defense this year.
right, but specifically a defense like the Jets, like their defensive line is good. So they're either going to have to hold the line or they're going to have to keep everything in front of them and play prevent. 404, 3 touchdowns, 63 rushing yards. I like that spin. I like that.
That's a hot take right there. that's a hot take.
That is a hot take. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 51-minute mark. Cody Finney says 37 37-14. We're not at the score prediction. Don't get ahead of us, Cody. Does he have the script?
Well, he did everything else though.
Did you email him the script?
I did. I sent Cody the script. I texted to him. My bad, Cody.
384.
But he said 384.
Woo!
30 completions on 42 attempts.
Lord have mercy. 4 touchdowns.
Do you think it's going to be that much? That many attempts?
He might throw a pick. I'm not straight 4. All right.
Well, it does look like he used Manscaped. In
we were thinking the same exact thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce you to I'm Not Straight 4, who clearly uses Manscaped, who generously sponsors our program. Thank you so much for the super chat and being a proud user of Manscaped. So we will report that back to the corporate powers that be. So the next topic is for Cody Finney. Final score predictions for the game this Sunday.
Well, hold on real quick, because I wanted to ask you this real quick.
Sure.
I don't know where it just went. Before we get to this prediction, somebody just asked, tell us who has a better wide receiver core than us. I don't want to talk about this too long, but it's an interesting. I saw somebody talking about it the other day. Which teams, how many teams and who would you think actually have a better wide receiver core than us? I'll tell you what, and honestly, there's not many. There's not many.
There's not many. I mean, it could be argued that the Cowboys do, right? We had this conversation in the BF chat about a month and a half ago. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know the Cowboys were there. Some people believe the Chiefs are between Hill and Watkins, and obviously you have to put Kelsey into that mix. Cooper Kupp and Woods are always going to be a problem. Always going to be a problem. It's interesting to see what's brewing out there in Seattle between Lockett and obviously DK Metcalf.
They just brought back Josh Gordon too.
Yeah,
I don't know what he has left.
Yep.
The potential has always been there, and it's like, oh man, I hope he plays, but I don't see it.
Big John, I disagree with you. Pipe down on the stats. We would be controlling the line of scrimmage and running too much to run up the passing stats. I think the Bills are coming out to make a point.
I do too. I think that they're coming out and they're going to really try to punch the Jets in the face. Yep.
I think they're going to put the league on notice. So, do you have an answer to that question as far as a better wide receiver core?
Actually, you know what? And somebody just posted it. I think the Cardinals have a better wide receiver core.
So, Fitzgerald, Hopkins. Who else is there? The little
That's
guy.
all you need to name.
I don't think so, dude. I bet I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. Fitzgerald didn't get drafted in one of them.
Okay, that's because you're crazy. He's the PPR king. He
Fitzgerald
catches everything.
You didn't draft Fitzgerald in your own league.
Because I have better receivers.
My point exactly.
No, but when you're talking about a wide receiver, you're talking about an entire room. What I'm saying is that team, they're going to move the ball. It's going to be fun to watch. With us, with my fantasy team, I have like number 1 wide receivers, so it's different.
You are never going to argue with Nuke. I mean, any guy that can go an entire
Never.
season without dropping a football is another world as far as any of that goes. Fitzgerald is Fitzgerald, and he's going to catch balls, but it's going to catch up to him, and it's a matter of when. The problem I have is the tight end and Kenyon Drake. Like, I'm seeing Kenyon Drake go in the first 2-3 rounds of like football drafts, and I'm like, what in the world? That dude, when he was a Dolphin last year, couldn't get on the field. Like, and all of a sudden, you're telling me he's a second round draft pick for fantasy football? I don't think so. You think he is?
Okay. No, I know he is.
You know,
did you see him last year in Arizona?
Yeah.
They didn't put him on the field in Miami because they didn't want him there. That's why they traded him. But he's a heck of a talent.
I think it was more than that, but
well, he fixed whatever it was when he went to when he came to Arizona. So
gotcha. So Arizona's
to your question, final score.
Arizona's the only team you have that's better than the Bills wide receiver core.
Dallas.
I'm not totally sold. I'm going Dallas before I'm going Arizona.
I'll go both. I put both of them there. But yeah, I would go Dallas for sure. I think Dallas has the best receiver core in the league.
It's probably especially with CeeDee Lamb there now, right?
So. CeeDee Lamb is a monster, man. And I know people. I don't even understand how fantasy. You know how like they always tell you what they think the players are going to do.
Yeah.
They have CeeDee Lamb at like in the one Yahoo league that we're in together. They have him at like 8 points. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, okay.
Well, if what Cole Beasley said is true, it'll be interesting because Cole Beasley wanted out of Dallas because there was a plan to only throw the ball to the one guy. Like, no matter how open Cole was, he basically inferred or came out and said it that, like, I didn't get the ball no matter how open I was because they wanted to force the ball to Dez. Like, they want that the ball had to go to Dez.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, they drafted him, right? So.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get that one yet. John said Tampa.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think Godwin's nice.
Ooh.
No, I think Godwin is nice, but I wouldn't put their receiver core over the Bills.
Mike Evans is better than every receiver we have.
Mike Evans has a hamstring injury, and he probably won't even play for the first 4 weeks.
Take the injuries out of it. Take the injuries
I'm just saying
out
he's
of it.
not on the field. You can't say he's part of the core if he's
Mike Evans is better than every wide receiver we have.
No, he's not better than Stephon Diggs.
I think the numbers, I think the stats would say otherwise.
When you're the only receiver really down there to catch the ball at that point,
he wasn't. Chris Godwin was there
last year, but I mean, his whole
Jameis
career,
Winston.
he didn't have help.
With James,
last year, I'm saying his whole career though.
No,
he's been that guy. Period. No,
who did he have?
Never had
he had Deshaun Jackson. He had.
I'm picking Diggs every single day over Deshaun Jackson. I'm picking like Deshaun Jackson is not Deshaun Jackson that we remember.
True, but Fitzgerald is the Fitzgerald that we remember.
Fitzgerald has been Fitzgerald his entire career. He hasn't dropped off.
He's dropped off a little bit. A little bit.
I really need you to watch the Cardinals games this year because you didn't even really.
I'm actually excited to watch it. I watched 3 last year, and one of them, Kyler Murray, was under 30% completions at the end of the first half, and I was like, I don't get the hype. Like, what am I watching? Like, why are people big on this kid?
You just don't like him. But I'm telling you, Fitz is the man, though.
I have nothing.
I know he's older now, but he's the man. I'm just telling you, But back to the thing though. Let's not disrespect Diggs here by saying that Mike Evans is better than Stephon Diggs. Like that's a crazy statement.
I don't think it's crazy.
I think you're crazy.
By the end of this season, we might be able to agree that Stephon Diggs is better than Mike Evans. But Tom Brady's throwing the football to Mike Evans this year, not Jameis Winston. There's a good chance that Mike Evans might catch 1,800 yards worth of passes this year. Like
with Tom Brady throwing the ball?
If they can hold that line, Tom Brady's going to complete passes. He's a statue, but he's going to complete passes if they hold that line.
Okay.
Dude, that team is scarier than I want to admit. Scarier 20. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Right. That's why I switched up.
We are off the subject. I have 34-13 the Bills over the Jets.
Close. I had 30-10. So
30-10.
Yeah, still there.
Do you have a surprise of the game? I have one surprise. Oh, by the way, I got 34-10 with Tyler Bass missing at least one field goal, maybe 2. Do you have a surprise of the game? Anybody got a surprise of the game? I have a surprise of the game. What's your
surprise?
My surprise, I think Gabe Davis scores his first touchdown on Sunday.
That would be nice.
That would be. I think you already said yours, though. You said that the first touchdown was going to be to Singletary, but I don't know if that's a surprise. Do you have a
No,
surprise?
I don't think that's a surprise. No, I don't really have I just think we're going to come out and dominate. So I don't think there's nothing to be, there's nothing surprising about this Sunday. It shouldn't be.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to and watching probably the Hump Day Hotline with myself, Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wire. To my co-host, Jay Spence, you can find him on Twitter at Jay Spence the King. What's up, Chris Brown Jr.? Anthony Romeo in the comments section. Tom Brady can't throw the ball more than 10 yards anymore. I don't think that's true. I don't like Tom Brady, but I don't think that's true. Let's do this, Hump Day Hotline, folks. If I can get this thing to leave the screen. There it goes. Why don't we take some questions? Why don't we let the fans drive the Bills Mafia, which, by the way, if you're not on Twitter or if you haven't been on Twitter in a while, today something crazy happened. And it was cool to see Del Reed's tweets today. Did you see Del Reed's tweets today at all?
I did.
So
That's
today,
exciting.
yeah. So last year, hashtag Go Bills on Twitter was the official moniker hashtag for the Buffalo Bills, and they put the little Bills logo after hashtag Go Bills. Today it came out and it's official. It's now hashtag Bills Mafia with the Buffalo Bills logo. And the reason that is important is because Del Reed said that when Bills Mafia first came out, the Bills organization was scrubbing the hashtag from people's tweets, from like Bills players' tweets before they would retweet stuff, which is really kind of cool. So what did people say?
But now it's like widely accepted. The team is behind it. I love it, man. I love it.
Dawson
When
Knox.
the team embraces. Oh, go ahead.
I would say Dawson Knox, dearest Mafia. I was like, yes.
Pierre said that his surprise would be that we'll have multiple 2 or 3 play drives, touchdown drives.
I've got that on my, so I've got it even higher than that. So I've got 34 with, like I said, Tyler Bass missing 2 field goals. So even inside of that, you're talking, what's that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scoring drives, 8 potential scoring drives in that football game for me. So I've got it higher than that. Noah Bruno, welcome into the show, Noah. I want to see what we have in the running game. Is there a possibility Zach Moss gets more touches than Singletary this season? Well, that's a different question than this game.
Right.
I think that we're going to see McDermott and Dable do what we saw McDermott and Dable do last year, which is ease Moss into the games. So I think you're going to see Moss with some touches this weekend. And then we might get to the point of being frustrated because Moss is touching the ball and he's doing some explosive stuff and we're not getting enough of Moss as fans. And then all of a sudden they'll start giving him shares. So whether or not he gets more touches, I don't know. Could he be a cowbell? I don't know. Thoughts?
Well, you all know how I feel about Moss. So I think Moss, by the end of the
people
season,
making business decisions.
He's going to be the starter. And again, let me preface this by saying, because I already know what's going to happen in the chat, there's nothing negative that I have to say about Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is going to be a star in this league, but Zach Moss is that much better. So it's just, we're in a good place to have this type of problem where we have 2 awesome, like stud running backs. But I'm telling you guys, if you didn't watch Zach Moss in college, if you just get some time, just go back and go on YouTube and pull up Zach Moss. I guarantee you will come away like, why did he even make it to us?
All right, so let's do this. So let's get some more questions up in here. Somebody's agreeing with Spence.
It's been happening a lot tonight. I'm just saying. I haven't been being mean tonight because we're excited about the game. So everybody is on my side tonight.
Dude, there's 280 people across all platforms. Stick around to the end. We're going to be closing up shop here soon. I want you guys to see the promo that I put together for the show with the song. It's going to give you goosebumps. If you got feelers, you're going to feel it. If you don't feel it, your feelers broke. So Stephen Campione, what's up?
He said, this is going back to the Devin Singletary Moss conversation that we were just having. He loves Devin. It's just Moss is a beast, and you won't be able to keep him off the field, in my opinion. Can't wait to see what they do together. I agree. Can you imagine having a 2 running back set where you don't know if they're going to hand the ball off to either one or if they're going to do a screen to either one? Or you still have Diggs and John Brown out there, or Beasley in the slot, who is always open. Teams can't double team Diggs if they expect to stop the offense. Well, they won't be able to stop the offense, but they can't double team.
We've talked about it a lot. I don't know how many people that are tuned into us now have been tuned into us when we've talked about it before. Literally, you're talking about a situation where if they double team Diggs, they're in trouble because of John Brown, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, and the guys in the backfield. If they don't double team Diggs, they're in trouble. And oh, by the way, if they figure out some way to cover all those guys, then they don't have a spy on Josh Allen, and they're in trouble. And this is every defense in the NFL. Like, line up and just beat the guy on the other side of the ball, right? Like, let's not even get cute. Let's just line up and beat the other guy. Todd Barker.
He said, "Are you concerned about the workload Moss has already had, and is Singletary anywhere near that kind of use?" Singletary was used quite a bit in college.
He just didn't catch passes.
Yep.
I think the only concern I have about Singletary is just pass blocking. So, picking up that, edge rusher, picking up the guy coming up the middle. And Moss clearly has a much bigger stature than Singletary. If there's something that could potentially hurt Devin Singletary's stock, it's going to be his ability to pass block, unless he put in some work this offseason, which he may have.
Well, I agree with Mark here. Like I said, and me and Pierre, we have a friendly little joke going back and forth because he really loves Devin and he supports Singletary, and I do too. But like I said, I agree with Mark, man. He's from Utah. He saw him play in college, and you're in for a surprise. He's saying Zach Moss is amazing, and I'm telling you guys, it's nothing against Singletary. It's going to be fun to watch to have them both.
Yeah.
Moss is a monster.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait. I really can't. I know Joe and I, so when I first got into like the podcasting world,
Here it comes.
I was on Joe's show. And one of the things that we talked about was how Zach Moss forces players to make business decisions. And it was just like, we probably talked about it for like 20 minutes because the Buffalo Bills haven't really had somebody to play that style of football in a long time.
Yeah.
We thought we did, like we tried, but we really didn't have somebody to play that style of football. And I'm telling you, it's going to be so much fun to watch.
It's going to be amazing. What are the questions we got? Comments, questions?
Well, they said, so a lot of people now are talking about Motors pass blocking. From what I've hearing coming out of practice, it sounds like he has improved. And, he's going against the number one defense in the league, or one of the top defenses in the league in practice. So if he's showing improvement there, then it makes me feel good. But at the same time, I agree, we got to see what happens on the field.
Absolutely. Dude, here, I don't want to drive. Go ahead. Owen Lundeen says, talk about Stash Allen and what happened on Twitter today, please. It actually happened yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, where he shaved his down to his mustache. Yeah. However, the Bills, oddly enough, and I don't remember who said, it may have been the Bills guys or Greg Thompson, but somebody said, like, the Bills came out and said, if this gets retweeted 5,000 times, it will make it our avatar. And like somebody's like, you should have made it 17,000, which is accurate. So right now the Bills avatar on Twitter is the Josh Stash picture. And oh, by the way, if Anthony is still in the house from the Hoof Live podcast, Anthony is on record last night as saying that if the Bills put a 50 burger on the Jets, he is going to shave down his mustache. So we are at hashtag Stash for 50 is the official hashtag for Anthony. Hashtag Stash for 50.
I just don't see the Bills putting up 50 points.
I don't either, but I'd love to see Anthony in a mustache.
I'm
not doing it. I'm not carving. Dude, I got cut today. Shout out to my man Jay Nico in West Seneca. Yeah, I got cut today. I ain't. I pay a pretty penny to have this beard trimmed in. So
Dan wants to know, what do you think of the tailgate protesters? I didn't even hear about that.
I haven't either. I don't want to get stuck on politics because it's going to lead me to Emperor Cuomo and some things. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to go there.
Move along.
and a county executive that I'd like to see lead versus just do whatever his governor tells him to do. So yeah, anyways. Next.
Ali says if the Bills put up 50 points, he will buy Manscaped.
Well, Ali, if you've got the money to buy Manscaped, I want to talk to you offline about some sponsorship opportunities for the Hump Day Hotline. Stash for 50. There it is. Stash for 50.
I didn't know, because obviously I was I wasn't in a chat much, and then I woke up and I saw all the Stash for 50, and I'm like, what the heck are they talking about?
Bing, bing, bing.
I watched the show yesterday. What up, my man Rico?
Bing, the show is officially over. Bing, biggity, bing. Rico is in the house.
Rico the boss. You think Josh Norman is going to play week 1?
I don't. The fact that he was inactive. So I read the injury report today as far as who the inactives were. He was the only injured player, Bill, that did not practice at all. There's probably an outside chance he is questionable. My guess is we're going to get Levi Wallace. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think it'd be Levi.
I'm not worried about it. They could probably not put a cornerback out there, and we could probably still beat the Jets.
You could put Isaiah McKenzie back out there.
Do you believe I just said that? Like,
I do, because that was you see, I didn't even it wasn't like a hot take. I was like, yeah, we could probably put Isaiah McKenzie back up.
Right. By the way, let's talk about your boy Isaiah. Dude, you nailed Reggie Gilliam. Dude, just for the record, the podcast he's talking about on my show like 3 or 4 months ago, he mentioned Reggie Gilliam before I even knew that dude's name. Like, he said Reggie Gilliam, and I had to go do some research. And he's like, Reggie Gilliam's making this football team, and I'm like, who the heck is Reggie Gilliam? And he's been a stand for Isaiah McKenzie since day one. So talk about it.
I think the only one that I missed out on was Trey Adams, but I think the only reason why I missed out on him is because they brought in Winters with that injury, and then them doing all the shuffling up. But my man Rico said, "Is it acceptable for us to only put 20 points up versus the Jets?" No,
that's not what he said. He said for Tomlin. Can you do me a favor? Can you scooch forward and then get the whole, like with the big eyes, with Tomlin?
No, you're not about to have me on here. No, you're not about to have me on here looking like Adam Gase from his presser when he took the job. No,
Mike Tomlin. You could do the. I'm going to have to find a pic of Mike Tomlin and throw him up here. You know what I'm talking about, like when he gets those big eyes.
I know what you mean. But yeah, no, Gilliam, man. When we talked about it on the show earlier in the offseason, I just saw things in him that I didn't see out of any of our tight ends. And when you look at the way the league is changing as far as that position, you're looking at Travis Kelce, you're looking at Kittle. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at these guys who are athletic, who can catch the ball. They're more like receivers, but they still have some ability to really be a good tight end. That's what Gilliam shows me, and that's why I said he was going to make the team. The guy is awesome. I can't wait.
Is he did they list him as a tight end or a halfback?
I think now they actually list him as a tight end.
Tight end, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay.
I feel like it was a change because it was fullback, and then they switched him to tight end.
Right. What else?
Let us know in the comments. I know y'all know us. Oh, and you brought up Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about it real quick.
So I'm just happy that he obviously made the team. I feel like his role really is more than what a lot of Bills fans wanted to give him credit for. It's not just the jet sweeps. It's really not. And he is that backup to the punt and kick return. We're not going to throw Micah Hyde back there anymore. We're not going to throw whoever you think might be back there. It's going to be, it's going to be McKenzie if that opportunity becomes available.
Absolutely. So Jay, if you get a chance, go back and watch some of. I don't know which presser it was. McDermott had a presser where he specifically talked about Murphy. And there's an aspect of he's heard the rumblings and the grumblings from not only the media, but from the fans as far as like, why are we paying this guy $9 million a year? And he basically just said that Murphy brings some things to the team, leadership standpoint. And let's be honest, McDermott loves his older players, Alexander, like he loves his older guys that bring a level of leadership to the team. So he had just talked about just being committed to Murphy. So he made it pretty clear that Murphy was not getting cut about 2 weeks ago. So there's just something that McDermott wants in him. I think Milano's going to get paid, but that's just me. So I think.
Well, the thing is, Murphy's he's a solid player. It's not like he's horrible.
Right.
The thing was, so when I was complaining and saying let's get rid of him and go get Clowney, it's not because Murphy was bad. It's just that I want an elite pass rusher. That's all it is. But no, Murphy's going to do well this year. The defense that we have, everybody is going to perform well and everybody's going to eat. There is one comment I want. This one. Do you think the Bills are going to sign Lamar?
I'd like to see Lamar over T.J. Yeldon. I don't understand any reason why T.J. Yeldon is on this football team, but that's just me.
I would agree, but at the same time, I'm not sure how I feel about Lamar Miller. Like he hasn't been healthy. His knees, it's one of those things where it's kind of like I remember who Lamar Miller was, but it's been so long ago. Like, can we really trust him to come here and really make an impact? Even as a third running back, you still want him to be able to make an impact when he's in the game. I just don't know if I trust him. I think Yeldon.
Go ahead.
I think Yeldon, obviously, I know a lot of fans weren't happy last preseason with a couple of fumbles that he had, and then he hasn't taken advantage of his opportunities.
Right.
But he's a very good receiving back. He really is, and that was the reason why the Bills signed him. So if the Bills are going to be switching to doing a lot of misdirections or a lot of plays where they're going to be throwing out of the backfield, then I absolutely want to. I want to have Yeldon. Just being honest.
Does a bear crap in the woods, Dion?
He must have missed the first part of the show.
Yes, we're watching the football game tomorrow night.
Amped. We are amped.
Gary Godshaw, thank you so much for the super chat. How about Cap being rated higher than Josh? Maybe you already mentioned it. We have not talked about this, so I don't know what's going on in Madden land, but maybe you want to speak to that.
I'm not touching it.
For those of you that are not aware, all I'm going to say is that Madden reintroduced Kaepernick to Madden, to the game, and he's rated higher than a whole lot of current players, and I think Josh Allen is one of them. It's just like, all right.
I'm not touching it.
Gary, I wish I could give you a refund on your super chat, but I can't.
Sorry, man. I do not feel like getting yelled at tonight. I'm in a good mood, man. Like, why would you do that to me?
That's right. What else you got in there?
Let's see.
We're slowing down.
Okay, so who's the breakout player week 1 for the Bills? So who's going to have the best game outside of Josh? We know we expect Josh to perform well. We expect Stephon Diggs to perform well. Who do you think is going to be that breakout player?
Well, it can't be Allen or Diggs.
I guess it could, but I was looking.
I think the stat line that is going to be touted on Good Morning Football is going to be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
It like I said, 300 plus, so 300 Bills plus, 3 touchdowns total. He might have an interception. He might have a fumble. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he's going to be amped up like he always talks about. He's going to be excited. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Somebody's in there saying Ed Oliver. It could be Ed Oliver. Great minds think alike. Quentin Jefferson. It could be, but my guess is Del'Shawn Phillips. It's not the legend of Del'Shawn Phillips. All right.
Now, here's the thing. The playoff game and then I think the last 2 games of the season, Trent Murphy played very well. I could see him having 3 tackles for a loss and a sack. To me, that's not crazy. It's not like they have an offensive line. If he just tackles Le'Veon Bell 3 times on the handoff,
6 propane 9. If you're still on, if the Bills put up 50, he'll become a member. I'll do you one better, propane. If the Bills put up 50, Rico will have lunch with you, and you have to become a member, and then Rico will have lunch with you, and then Anthony's going to shave in a mustache. So, are we slowing down a little bit?
I'm seeing people in here saying that they think the game will be close and low scoring, but I feel like this particular person is trolling us because they also said some other stuff that was crazy earlier.
The only reason that the game would be low scoring, close and low scoring, is if the Bills are not trying to show their playbook. If they're literally trying to get out of this game with very much not putting stuff on tape, which I'll be honest with you, could absolutely happen. The Bills could run dives up the middle and off tackle runs the whole entire game and throw very sparingly just to keep stuff off tape for the Dolphins week 2. It literally could happen.
Are we not thinking that Clowney is an elite passer? Is he not elite?
I think that Titans defense is elite now with Clowney on it.
Would I want Clowney for $15 million? Yes. I think he's worth $15 million. He got 12, I think, right?
I'd rather have Yannick.
Oh, no, I would absolutely. Yeah. I would absolutely rather have Yannick. But what was available at the time, Clowney to me is.
He was available. There's a reason the Bills did not go get him.
True, because Brandon Beane kicks the tires on everybody.
Yeah.
Like he checks everything and everybody out. So
Bills Mafia, everybody watching, all 260 of you that are watching and listening to us right now, take solace in the fact that Jadeveon Clowney is not a Buffalo Bill by design. Like, he's been available for a very long time, and Beane did not go get him.
Well, but at the same time, too, I think he's been available for a very long time because he hates training camp. I think he planned to sign prior to the season.
With the Titans, though? You think he planned to go to Tennessee?
Not with the Titans, but I think he planned to start his team search after training camp. I don't think he intended to ever make it to a training camp.
Yeah, you might be right. So we're at an hour and 20. You want to wrap this thing up? Oh, Here we go.
My man Rico wants to know, everybody's playing fantasy football. The Fanatics has a really dope dynasty league that I'm in. And let me see, because I'm going to ask you guys' opinion on mine. Joe, your team in our league is pretty good, too.
Solid, bro. I got Courtland Sutherland late. Real late. I was like, yeah. some guy drafted Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen because apparently you can play two quarterbacks in this league that I'm in with Jay Spence. So
So in my
I don't know what that voodoo is, but whatever.
well, in the dynasty league, so I drafted Tua, but not to play him this year.
Mm.
My quarterback for this year is Dak. I got Cam Akers and Saquon Barkley as my starting running backs. I have D Hop and CeeDee Lamb as my receivers. I have Darren Waller as my tight end. My flex, I really can go a ton of different ways. So, but right now for this Sunday, I have Sanders in there. I'm pretty good, man.
So in the league that matters, so just because Rico's asking, I have been in a fantasy football league since 1994. It's affectionately called the Bean Dips. The league began in the stock room of the Tops on McKinley Parkway in Hamburg, New York, amongst a bunch of us that were there. And there's still, I think, 5 legacy players in this league. My team is Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones, Julio Jones, DK Metcalf, Mark Andrews, the Chargers, Greg Zerline. And then I've got nobody on the bench that I'm overly super duper excited about outside of probably Dawson Knox and Tyler Bass, and I got Ruggs. So, but I'm really happy with my starters.
Wait, that's not our league, is it?
No, that's not yours. No.
Okay.
That's
Who's
my
your?
that's my league that's my league that costs like money. So, like real money.
I gotta look at your team. But yeah, no, I'm gonna beat you when I play you.
Yeah, we're about to lose everybody as we're talking fantasy football.
That's cool. We can
that was strategic
we can wrap
by
it up
Rico.
anyway.
Rico's
cool.
like,
I want to watch.
I'm gonna end this show right now. Talk about
one thing
fantasy.
I do want to comment on though, because I'm seeing a lot of people hating on Clowney because I'm a fan of his or whatever.
Yeah.
This getting Clowney doesn't mean no Milano. He was a 1-year rental. It wouldn't have been a long-term deal. It would have been for this season. My whole thing for the offseason, and I've been fighting about this even with the Cody Ford situation that you guys hear me talk about. I've been fighting for this with a ton of things. My thing is putting quality players in the right positions. To me, Cody Ford shouldn't be a right tackle. He should be a right guard because he would be an elite right guard. So same thing. When I'm talking about Clowney, it's a 1-year rental. If you're going for it, if you feel like you have the roster to make the Super Bowl, you upgrade every position you can. And right now, if anybody in this chat is really telling me that Clowney's not an upgrade to Murphy, then I can't interact with you out here. You're crazy.
All right. So Lone Wolf asks, fantasy football has been around that long? It has. We actually used to open up
really has.
The USA Today. We would get together on Monday nights for Monday Night Football, and we would go through the scores, and we would count up all the scores during Monday Night Football, just to kind of see where everybody was rolling in at. So
make sure y'all join the Buffalo Fanatics text club. It's so dope. When you text it, you literally can text it at any point of the day and talk football, Buffalo Bills football all day, like literally.
So we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. We're at an hour 23. We actually had a focus on maybe cutting it loose or cutting it off in about an hour. But as always, you guys are killing the comments, which is fantastic. Appreciate that, Davion Price. We love you, bro. So if you've got something you want to ask, something you want to comment, you better get it in now. So you better super chat us right now. So if there's something hanging on your mind you want to know, or if you've recommented it 6 times or 7 times and we've missed it, do it now. Otherwise, you're about to be cut off because we're about to get into week 1, yo. Like we're about to be at like off the air here and then like on to Thursday and then on to the Jets. So
another announcement I do want to make before I read Rico's comment here. Don't forget for the Thursday night game when the Buffalo Bills play against the Kansas City Chiefs, Joe Miller and I will be doing it would be the Hump Day Hotline.
Hump Day Hotline,
but it'd be on Thursday. It'd be a special edition of it on Thursday. We're going to switch places with the Bills guys for that week. We're going to be doing it. I'll announce the location soon, but we'll be doing it very close to the stadium. So it's going to be fun. I really hope everybody who's in Buffalo, Orchard Park, West Seneca, wherever in Western New York, I hope you guys can come and join us. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun. But Rico asked, or he said, great call on Gilliam. Have you always been confident in Isaiah McKenzie? By the way, join the Buffalo Fanatics text club. Yeah, I actually, I have been. Again, if you go back to the show that Joe and I did at the beginning of the off season, or when I started doing podcasting, I called Isaiah McKenzie making the roster. I did tend to like him more after I interviewed him because we talked and like off the interview, and he's a good dude. He's a really, really good dude, and it's hard not to root for him. But yeah, no, absolutely. And join that text club and hump that like, man. Did y'all
Hump that like 157. We're at 157 on YouTube. We're
Hump
at
that like.
45 on Facebook, which is stinking awesome. So Cody
And I
Finney, I
know.
see you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm
I was,
just showing. I know the Yankees ain't playing good, but still,
yeah.
that's my squad.
Cody, you know the game, bro. You want to get in. Of course, you are now a member as well, or at least you've been a member for a while. But how many pass rushing yards does our defense allow, and how many sacks and turnovers do we get?
That's a good question. I think we get 3 turnovers, a couple fumbles, and an interception.
I think they're gonna. I think Darnold's going to be running for his life. I don't trust it. We talked about it. I don't think that offensive line.
Yeah,
they're going to be in trouble.
I don't think he throws for 175 yards.
So this is a great programming note. Lone Wolf asks what shows are on for pregame and postgame. So on your normal tuned in Sunday games for the Buffalo Bills, Fanatics will be on this multicast network live with multiple different hosts. The Bills guys will be there. I know the Hoof guys will be there. Jay Spence might be there. I cannot. I work on Sunday mornings. There'll be a lot of guys.
I think the agreement was so you and I are going to do like certain primetime games.
Correct, but I'm not. I don't want to count you out just to be on a random Sunday. So we're going live. I can't remember what time it is.
You're my guy, dude. Are you kidding me?
It might be 10:30. It's a couple hours before game, and then they're going to be off 15 minutes before kickoff, and then you get the Rico report on Sunday nights, and then it's going to be followed right up on Monday mornings with the Overreaction podcast hosted by yours truly on Monday morning. So we got you for the drive home from the game or the evening, and we got you for the drive to work. So.
Do you have concerns about Singletary fumbling?
No, I have more concerns about Josh Allen fumbling. So,
yes.
So, that's just me.
I love when Josh runs, but I hate when Josh runs. Like at the same time, because he's so good at when he runs the ball, but I just my heart literally jumps through my throat every single time because I feel like he's going to get hit and throw the ball, like fumble it or something. It's bad.
Yeah. So why don't we wrap this thing up? So, ladies and gentlemen, unless you've got something else to say. Oh, here we go.
No. My man Cody said that he'll fill in for you on Sundays.
Make it happen, bro. Make it happen.
We're going to make that happen, Cody.
I'm good with that.
No, seriously. You're my guy. I'm not
for sure.
Shows with everybody.
No, I'm just saying like there's just an aspect.
No, I know. I appreciate Cody, but I mean seriously, I'm with this is a team here.
Yeah, I don't want to hold the show back, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hump Day Hotline on the Buffalo Fanatics Multicast Network, brought to you by Manscaped. I don't remember all the taglines, but Jay Spence's balls are fresh.
Please go to manscaped.com and use the code Fanatics.
Wait, I'm going to give it to him. Here it is. Go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping if you type in the code Fanatics. We would love it if you sponsored Manscaped and you sponsored and supported our show.
Get ball deodorant.
Yeah, get ball deodorant. It's all about the ball deodorant. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bills play the Jets. I think everybody right now is predicting the Bills to win. We probably, as much as we've got stash 450, we probably need to stash for a loss. If the Bills lose, we're all carving in rated expense. We're all carving in mustaches. Before we sign off, I'm Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. I'm the host of the Overreaction podcast. That is my co-host.
I am Jay Spence the King. I host the Code of Conduct show. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jay Spence the King. And he had a great show today with Shelby Waddle, wife of L.A. Waddle, who was a former Buffalo Bills tackle who's still out there on the free agent market. And this past Monday, I had Pat Moran on my show, which was probably the most fun conversation I've had since I've been doing podcasting. So we had it was great to get Pat Moran on the other side of the microphone and have him answer questions for a change. So. You want to read that one? And as we leave out, the last comment of the night comes from my man Cody. Thank you, Cody. He said, "Man, I love you guys. Feel like I could chill with y'all and enjoy the company."
Absolutely. Cody, are you in town? If you're in town, so this is Jay Spence talked about it. If Governor Cuomo opens it up for the Chiefs game, we are going to be live on location doing this show before the Chiefs game in Buffalo. So everybody that's listening to us, we've lost about 100 of you, but for those of you that are left, if you're in Buffalo, come hang out with us. The location, we have it, but we're not ready to announce it. But we're going to be doing this show, the Hump Day Hotline, live on location in Buffalo before the football game, the Chiefs game on Thursday night. That's
Juan,
with you.
If you're on, are you on Twitter, Juan? If you can comment again real quick. If not, I'll find a way to, contact you and we'll get you the link for it. Or if you go on whatever platform you listen on and you go to the Buffalo Fanatics Network, So
find it.
Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff.
It was about a month
just
ago.
Type in, a little over a month ago. So just scroll down, you'll see it. I appreciate one.
Yep. So on behalf of myself, Jay Spence, Pierre, Rico, Bobby, all the Fanatics crew, we love you guys. You need not look any further if you're looking for Buffalo Bills alternative content than Buffalo Fanatics. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Go Bills.